What is going on, guys? We are back here for another episode of Armbars and Suplexes, special NFL edition on this one.
What?
I am your
Sports?
host, Sports. I'm your host, Alec Miller. You can find me on Twitter right there at AlecMiller0423. Check me out there, guys. And then I'm here, joined as always by Jesus.
What's going on, man? You can find me at right there at the real Jesus, and that's spelled JEEZUS on the Twitter sphere.
I'm going to try to sniffle as little as possible, and if I do, I will mute the mic. I will mute the mic for sure. Allergies are killer, and I have not had like a free day of allergies for a while. It sucks. But enough about my bodily functions. I don't know.
Your body reactions and responses.
Yes, we have a very fun. I think one of my favorite shows that we're going to do every year. We're going to host our little draft party type thing, draft thing. We missed last week. We weren't here for last Friday, so we didn't jump into the first round. But now we get even a little bit more of the other rounds if we have anything in particular we want to talk about. But mostly we will be talking about the first two rounds because that's the big talent is coming from the first two rounds, maybe even some from the third round of the NFL draft. The draft is my favorite thing about any sport, really. I love the NFL draft. It's my favorite thing to do. I love reading mock drafts all over the place. I like doing my own mock drafts on draftnetwork.com. That's always a fun website. And yeah, so we can just go and we're going to jump into that. But before we jump into that, we always do this every week. Jesus, what did you watch this week?
Oh, man. Well, I guess it's 2 weeks. So I watched Birds of Prey. I finally watched Birds of Prey. That was, it was okay. It was good. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just okay, you know?
One question before you move on, because I actually really liked it. I thought it was fun. It wasn't nothing groundbreaking. It wasn't anything crazy. I just had fun with the movie. I think, and Ewan McGregor is great as Black Mask.
Yeah,
fantastic.
He's really good. I liked him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I wanted more from it. I also think that the marketing was wrong on it as far as, they should just named it Harley Quinn or whatever. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey or whatever, which they ended up doing at the end of it instead of the stupid, the emancipation of one Harley Quinn, which was just dumb, man. It was just a whole dumb setup towards it. I don't know. I just feel like, yes, it was fun. I had fun watching it. There was a lot of action, a lot of women kicking butt, which is great. I just wanted more from it. That's all. I just wanted more.
No, I get it. And I think a lot of people kind of felt that. That was actually, I think that was a criticism from a lot of people, was that it just wasn't what they were expecting. They probably wanted more. I was perfectly okay with it. I wasn't expecting much. Honestly, I was not expecting much going into this movie. All I was expecting was a great performance from Margot Robbie, and that's what we got. I think we got some fun moments with the kid. I always forget her name. I think she was playing Cassandra Cain.
Cassandra Cain, yeah, she was really good.
She was great as Cassandra Cain. Nice little spin on who she is. And then, like I said, Black Mask. I think Ewan McGregor was fantastic as Black Mask. First time we've ever seen him on live action, and he was menacing for sure. Like you think about like the fact that he was like cutting off the faces of people, and there was no holds barred because he even got that whole family.
Yeah, dude. That was the good part of it. As far as it was a real villain and menacing and psycho villain, I guess you can say. And like you said, it's first time on live action for the Black Mask, which is a great character with a pretty cool backstory that I don't think they went into much into it.
No, yeah, they didn't.
But yeah, it was good. So we saw that one, and then the other movie that I saw that was legit that I recommend is Mercy. Have you ever seen Mercy or heard of it?
I have not.
It's with Michael B. Jordan, and it's with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I did hear about it. Haven't seen it.
Dude, it's really good, man. It's really good. It's based on a true story. It's about the late 80s, early 90s. I forgot where it is. It's in either Mississippi or Alabama. I gotta double check it. But about their justice system and how it was racist and putting just basically charging African Americans with bogus crimes just to close out stuff based on racism. And it's a sad story, of all the men and people who lost basically a big chunk of their lives to being incarcerated for on false pretenses,
Yeah.
and the man who went over there and did a lot of free work for them as a lawyer to help them freed, and he freed up to this point. His project that he started 20 years ago has freed 175 people. Yeah, in that system, in that unjust system. And the problem with the two men is, after the fact, you see that the sheriff who was in charge, and who's who's been doing a lot of these unjust charges with that had a connection with the district attorney, literally just retired last year in 2019. So it's been continuing to go on. So it's just a sad story overall, man. But it's really good. It was really masterfully played by Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. So it was good, man. I recommend it. It's a pretty good story.
All right, all right. So I'm trying to think what I watched a few weeks ago. Dang, why am I blanking? Oh, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, you
I
did
watched
say that,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched that. Great. I actually did a recasting.
Of who would it be this time around?
Yeah, I think I told you, but did I tell you who I?
You didn't tell me the cast, who you would recast.
All right, I can actually pull it up. I think I actually did pretty good. I was actually kind of proud of my casting. So to start off, right off the bat, my casting for Scott Pilgrim was actually why am I blanking?
Michael Cera.
No, Asa Butterfield.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good choice. I never really cared for him before, but when I saw him, I love that show, Sex Education.
I haven't seen it.
It's a great show, and he's really good in it. And he has that feel. He has that Michael Cera feel, Scott Pilgrim feel. Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now. Got it right here. All right. So for Scott Pilgrim, like I said, Asa Butterfield. For Ramona Flowers, I got Billy Lord. You know who that is?
Who is that, dude?
That's Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Oh, that's right.
She was in Booksmart. If you've seen Booksmart,
yeah, I've seen that one.
She was in Booksmart. She was in where I got her. Where I thought about her from the most was American Horror Story Cult.
Yes, I know who that is.
Season. Yeah, that's who. I was like, that's like actually. I think that was a good choice. I like her a lot, and kind of an up and comer. No one really knows her. Knows who she is. So
hold on. So she's 27 right now. How old was what's her name?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead was, I believe, she was 25. But the reason why I was like, it's okay, is because she played the high schooler in Booksmart, and that literally just came out a year ago. Like, I think their age kind of like, it doesn't really go with, because if you look at Gideon, Jason Schwartzman, at the time that it was filming, he was 20. I think he was 32. No, I think he was 32, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead was 29, something like that.
No, there was no way she was 29. Dude, she's 30.
How old is she now?
She's 35 right now.
Oh, then she was 24 then, and he was 29. Jason Schwartzman at that time.
It's a 5-year difference.
Yeah, and I think Asa is 22 or 23 or 24. I don't remember. I even said like that. Like the ages are going to be all over the place because it is kind of hard to go by ages.
Yeah. You don't want, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like Billy Lord looks older.
She was pretty young in Booksmart. That's where I was going off of her from. All right, so moving on. For Wallace, which is Kieran Culkin's character, I casted Carlos Valdez, who is Cisco from The Flash. Have you seen The Flash?
Yeah, but I haven't. I don't know what. Like, I haven't seen it to know what all their other.
He's just a quippy guy. He's funny. He just makes jokes and all that. Like, he's not like, he's basically Wallace. Like, all the jokes that Wallace had in the movie. That's
him.
Yeah, basically. For Gideon, Timothy Chalamet.
Ooh,
Yeah, I was like, let's go big.
that dude. Yeah, that would be a good one. But he's really hot right now. I don't know if you could get him for the recast. I
I
don't know. I
don't
don't
think so either. Just because
know.
like and like the podcast that I was listening to where they were recasting this, they even mentioned like a lot of these big name actors, they had like two scenes in the whole movie. Like so Chris Evans in the movie, like two scenes. Uh Gideon.
But he wasn't Chris
scene.
Evans at the time though, right? He was Fantastic Four Chris Evans, or he
Yeah,
was
no.
already. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was or he was this was actually 2008. Or no, that's 2010. So Captain America was about to come out.
Oh yeah. So and they probably
First
filmed like
Avenger.
a year before, so it was yeah. So you have to get guys like that.
Yeah, so I was like, but Chalamet, even though he's like getting up there, I don't like. You can go. I think you can go on the street and say, "Hey, do you know who Timothy Chalamet is?" And like maybe like 6 out of 10 times, the people might know who he is. Six or 5 out of 6 times, the people will know. But then I even think like there's a lot that probably don't know who he is.
Dude, that new one that he did, what's it called? The King, or what was it called on
Oh,
Netflix?
that's was his the Outlaw King?
The
Or
what?
no, not the Outlaw King. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it is though.
Hold
Yeah.
on. It's yeah, I guess it's called The King.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Okay, so I mean, it's a really good movie, dude. But man, for as I don't know if you're gonna see it anytime soon. I don't want to ruin it or anything.
Maybe one day.
Okay, well, and it's pretty long. I don't want to ruin anything, but he has a very good and high and large prowess for fighting and killing of men, but he just seems so like not strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
That
you mean.
that it's kind of hard to believe, but
He's slender, man.
dude,
He's a
yeah,
slender
but
guy.
if you're like killing dudes, like
Yeah, I
I
expect
don't
you to be
know.
big.
I mean, how you gonna swing a sword around like that, man, and just I don't know. It
Yeah.
was good. It was a good movie though, and again, it's a movie, so you gotta this guy's
Oh,
playing a role. So
he's great in what is that movie with Steve Carell? Beautiful Boy.
oh yeah, the Amazon
That movie,
original one.
he's so good in that
Yeah,
movie.
I went to go see that at that theater on Royal Oaks. Back when there was theaters, you would go to a theater and watch a movie with a lot of people around. I don't know. It might be before your time. I'm not sure, but
Man.
back then, I went to go see that in a movie theater. Man, that was a great movie, and he's a. I don't know from that movie. I already knew he was a good actor, but I think from that movie, I was like, man, this guy's really good.
Yeah. So then for Roxy, which is the female ex,
Mhm.
Florence Pugh. We got Florence Pugh for that.
Like that one.
For Envy, which is Scott's ex, I got Samara Weaving.
Who's that?
Have you seen Ready or Not?
No,
Have you seen The Babysitter?
no.
You need to see at least. You don't need to see The Babysitter, but watch for sure. Watch Ready or Not. She's fantastic. She's like this new. She's the new up and coming scream queen, basically.
She's gonna be in Bill and Ted.
It hasn't has that probably hasn't finished filming. But yeah, check her out, babe. Check her out. Ready or Not and Ready or Not for sure, man.
Oh,
She's
the chick
great.
from Out of the Blue.
I haven't seen Out of the Blue.
Oh, never mind. That's the wrong one. That's a BBC series.
All right, for Stacy, which is Scott's sister, I casted Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawke, who's that?
Stranger Things. She's the chick working with Steve in Stranger Things.
Oh
season
yeah,
3.
she's really good. It's
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke's daughter, right?
Yeah, so just put her in real quick for a little couple scenes, and that's all you need. For Knives, I thought there was nobody else to cast but Lana Condor, the main girl from To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Oh yeah, she's really good. She'd be really good in that role too.
Yeah, as Knives. I think everyone that like did recasting for that podcast, everyone said Lana Condor. She's the It Asian actress, I guess. All right, for Todd, which is the vegan, I got Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash in the Flash.
Oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah, I got him, and then the last one, which is Lucas, which is Chris Evans' character. I casted Decker Montgomery, which is Billy from Stranger Things.
Billy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the asshole.
Yeah, he actually be really good at that
Yeah,
too.
like, that'd be great. So yeah, that was my casting.
We know he has the range for sure.
Yeah, I was proud of my casting. I might be typecasting him as that character, but hey, it's okay.
If it works, it works, man.
Yeah, if it works, it works. All right, and then to cap it off, what I am in the middle of watching, have not finished, but I'm in the middle of watching is my rewatch. I'm rewatching Interstellar because I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater last time, man.
How's it holding up?
They just barely got into space where I'm at, and I didn't realize. Maybe I didn't realize I liked him as much before because like when I remember like watching in the theater, I was kind of like, it was good, but the ending always got me. I was kind of like, eh. But I forgot how emotional that beginning is, man. Like that first act, that's super emotional. Like with him and his daughter, and like when he tells her,
Murphy.
Before that, when he tells her, like, I'm not leaving it like this. Like we're not gonna leave like this. We have to fix it before I leave. And she goes, I'm gonna keep it broken, so you have to stay. And I'm like, oh, stop.
Well, dude, hold on. This is a very, very good, I guess, impact of watching movies. But when did you watch it? And you know, I guess you watched it back then. I think it was 2014 when it came out.
2014 in the theater.
Okay, so at that point you weren't a father yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so does that have an impact?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Like when you see her, just her like face, because at that point even though like it doesn't get fixed, he leaves, and like his dad or his father-in-law asked him like, "Did you fix it?" And he's like, "Yeah, like it's fixed." And he just got in the car and was leaving. And right when he drives away and she runs out the last minute, you know it's because she wasn't that mad. Like she's mad, but not mad enough to where she didn't want to say goodbye to her dad.
She was stubborn.
And she was just too late. And I was like, and the look on her face just broke my heart, man.
Yeah.
And then Matthew McConaughey, of course, masterclass of acting, crying in the car. Like, it's good, man. And then I can't wait because I'm waiting to get to the part where he's seeing the old messages from Murph and his kids. Like that's the part I'm waiting for because I heard like I was listening to the reason why we watched it is because I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about it, and they mentioned that scene. And they're like, dude, like imagine him, like what he had to do to get that out. Like you have to be a really good actor because think about it, like there's probably like 20, 30 people all watching you, and you're probably not even really watching anything, and you just have to like force that out of you. It's like it's got to be crazy.
Yeah, he did a great job, man. And but I can tell you, if you're reading that script, or if you're, I don't know, maybe they're playing that in the background, and you just start thinking about the logistics of all that, as far as your child that you left behind as a child is now an adult, is sending you stuff, is sending you messages, and you just start thinking about that and how you get to that point, because it's sad, man. Like you can't do anything. You know, it's just a one way. You know, they send you a message, you open it, then you have to, you know, record something and send it back, and it takes time. And it's just it from a parent standpoint, man, it's tough, dude. It's tough. And you're right, dude. I think at that point, man, he was kind of on a hot streak, dude. He was on a heater.
Yeah, that was the reconnaissance.
Because he was the reconnaissance. I think that around that time was True Detective, right? And
True Detective season 1 and Dallas Buyers Club was around that time.
That was which one?
Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he had that, Interstellar. His 2014 and 2013, I believe, were like on fire, dude.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I'm going to tonight watch Scream because I'm going to be doing possibly doing a podcast, not a podcast, but like a little discussion with some people tomorrow about Scream. Maybe, I don't know, but I also just wanted to watch it because I love Scream. Scream's great. I have no problem with saying I love Scream 4. Boom, hot take. I don't care what anybody says. Scream 4 is great.
I don't remember it that well, dude. My early horror doesn't hold up. Well, the only horror that I remember when I was, I guess, younger in the 90s is Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Candyman.
They basically tried to do Scream. That's what I know what last summer was.
Yeah, but they got like, I guess, more publicity because of Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Well, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar. That was around the height of Buffy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that was. So,
which is crazy. She plays this like super stereotypical cheerleader character in I Know What She Did Last Summer, and then she plays a badass in Buffy.
All right, so dude, here's his real quick. Matthew McConaughey, the reconnaissance, or whatever you called it.
Reconnaissance.
He did Mud. Have you seen Mud?
Love Mud.
Yeah. Okay.
Great
So
movie.
2012 was Mud. 2012 was Magic Mike. I haven't seen The Paperboy in 2012, which he did.
Seen The Paperboy.
Then he did Dallas Buyers Club.
Great movie.
Then he did The Wolf of Wall Street.
Fantastic movie, even though it's a very small part.
And then he did Interstellar.
Yep.
And then he did The Sea of Trees. Have you seen The Sea of Trees?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, it's on Netflix, bro. It's I don't know, man. It's also a trip, dude. Like from an emotional standpoint. Then he did The Free State of Jones, and then after that, it's just different stuff. White Boy Rick.
He's kind of gone back to his
yeah, but that
he's more late, like he's laying low.
Yeah, because he did like The Dark Tower, White Boy Rick, Serenity, which was weird.
Which The Dark Tower should have been much better, and he was a great cast. He's great casting.
For that.
The Man in Black.
Yeah. So it's from 2012 to 2015. I would say those 3 years were prime. That's just in film. If I go to television, I want to go back to those years too. So I could see.
Yeah, TV. He did.
In 2012, he did.
That was True Detective, right or no?
Eastbound and Down. True Detective was 2014.
2014. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So 2012 to 2014, 2015 was kind of his reconnaissance, and he was like top of his game, dude.
Yeah, man. So rewatching that, and then I'm gonna rewatch Scream tomorrow. So or tonight. So it's gonna be a good, nice little week of movies. And then for the recasting, because that's where like the podcast that I've been watching is called Cocktails and Casting and Cocktails, where they'll take a movie. So the first movie they did was American Beauty, but I've never seen American Beauty, so I didn't participate. Then with Scott Pilgrim. Now this upcoming week, because they're doing on May 4th, they're recasting Phantom Menace. So I might go back and rewatch Phantom Menace and try to recast and cast Anakin and Padme as age appropriate.
I want to see who you would recast as Jar Jar.
I don't know. I can't. I have to think about that one, man. I'm gonna find a comedian actor, maybe like a John Mulaney. You know, the comedian.
I know who that is.
A John Mulaney.
I don't know if he could pull it off, man.
Because I don't want him to be the typical Jar Jar. I want him to be like a kind of.
You want to remake Jar Jar?
I want to remake Jar Jar. I'm really gonna change. I'm changing up instead of little kid Anakin. I want like 17, 18-year-old Anakin. I want to kind of move it up where it should have been at the time.
You're gonna make it age appropriate, you said?
Yeah, because Padme, I believe, who said it? I saw someone say that. Not Keira Knightley, even though she's in the movie. Natalie Portman is 23 playing, or 20 years old playing a 14-year-old. Yeah. And the little kid's a little kid. And we're supposed to believe that, like, they grow up and they're like into each other. Like, no, it makes no sense.
So you would recast Padme as a 14-year-old?
No, I'd probably do them both as like in 17, 18, about to be adults.
Yeah, but that loses the first act of
16, 17. 16, 17. You're right. He's a kid. Or he's still living at home with his mom. But
but I feel like it loses the part where his what do they call it? Like where it's your when you're a kid and then you have your trials to when you get to your teens. But he used that part to be in the Jedi. Like by that time he's already way too old to be in the Jedi, because they were already saying he was too old to be in the program.
Same age. He'd be the same age as Luke.
Yeah, but that was desperate times, and you know it.
I don't care. I'm gonna ignore it. I don't care. I don't know. I have to go back and rewatch the movie, because I think the hardest one for me is gonna be Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's gonna be the hardest casting for me, because I think Ewan McGregor's perfect as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he is perfect for that one, dude.
Like I might not even recast him. I just put I'm just put Ewan McGregor again.
You should put what's that dude's name from Loki? What's Loki's name?
Oh, Tom Hiddleston. Nah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
That might be a good one.
Oh, also, I finished listening to Master and Apprentice. Fantastic book on Audible. Check it out if you want to. It's Claudia Gray. It's in the Star Wars canon. It's basically before Phantom Menace. So it's a mission. You get to go on. Basically, you're going on a mission with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon has just been invited to join the council. But he's considering it, he's thinking about it. Him and Obi-Wan aren't really getting along, and they go on this mission, and things kind of change. You also get flashbacks of Qui-Gon's training with Dooku.
Dooku's one of my favorite characters, dude.
Dooku, after listening, because I haven't seen the Clone Wars yet, so I know he's great in the Clone Wars, but after listening to the Dooku novel on Audible, and then this book, Dooku is one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite villains. I think he's very much misunderstood. And honestly, if Qui-Gon doesn't die when he dies, I think he goes down that same path that Dooku went down. Honestly, dude, because there's points in Master and Apprentice where he's doing the exact same thing that Dooku was doing in the Dooku novel and in the flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean,
Question of the Jedi Order.
He was like right now when you said he was debating about joining, the council. Like, how do you debate if you're a Jedi? That should be
what you want. Yeah,
like to be in the council, and he's debating it, and there's much conflict in him. I see.
So. Yes, and it's because his training with Dooku, I think. But yeah, I think Qui-Gon's become one of my favorite characters. I love Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, no.
Yeah, so and also I'm not going to recast them all. It's going to be Ray Park. They're fantastic as Maul. Or I might just cast Sam Witwer, because Sam Witwer plays him in the Clone Wars.
Or hold on, who else would be? Let's recast him. Let's just recast him real quick. Who would be a great martial artist that can do that?
One of the guys from the Raid
with no lines.
One of the guys from the Raid don't have to speak.
You're missing GSP, man. No lines. You put him in there.
I don't know about that one. He was fine. He was fine in Winter Soldier, but
well, there you go.
He's forgettable.
No line. No, I mean you're gonna dress him up as Darth Maul, and he can do all the moves. And
he's a little short. How tall is he?
He's like 5'10", probably.
No, man. I need to be at least 6 feet.
I mean, with the little horns, he's 6 feet, dude. I mean,
maybe. You're right. All right. So you want to go ahead and jump into this draft, or you want to jump into maybe a little MMA and wrestling talk?
I mean, it's up to you, man. The MMA talk, there's some stuff going on. Dana White had a Q&A yesterday. I thought it was pretty interesting. Also, Cerrone had an interview. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, I saw the little quote. I saw one of the quotes, and I'm like, yes, let him, Dana, let him. What's up, Ricky? Ricky in the chat. How you doing, brother? Good to see you here joining us for today.
What's going on, Ricky?
Stick around. We're going to be talking draft very soon. But let's go ahead and jump into the UFC, man. Let's jump into. No, I'm going to actually, because I know you don't have really much to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
So this past week on AEW, and I had just recently.
I've seen some comments on this, man.
For me?
I saw some from you. I saw some from other people about something that went down.
Okay, so the week before, I have a problem.
Gather your thoughts, man. I know it's coming. Just breathe.
So
breathe.
The week before, I had a problem because Dustin Rhodes, who we all know is on the downside of his career, about to, probably going to retire within a year.
The back nine.
So they're having this tournament for the very first TNT champion. It's like their mid-card champion. Dustin Rhodes is going up against a younger guy named Kip Sabian. I like Kip Sabian, but they haven't been using him very much. I was saying, one, why is Dustin Rhodes going over on Kip Sabian? And two, why is he going over using a destroyer? Which is it used to be one of my favorite moves. It was a great move that I've only seen one guy use, which is the creator of it, named Petey Williams. Created the destroyer. And it's something I've never seen. Basically, you get the guy, you're about to set him up for a pile driver, but instead you flip forward and he lands on his head. Basically, it's a ridiculous move. Maybe I can like find it real quick and show you one while we're going. But basically everyone's been doing that move now. Everyone does a damn destroyer, and it's kind of annoying. And
everyone's doing it,
dude. Everyone throughout the entire world of wrestling, whether it be WWE or AEW, or there's like 6 people on the AEW and WWE rosters alone that do destroyers. Now think about all the other wrestlers that do it in the indies. So I'm gonna show you the original guys. Destroyer, Petey Williams, Canadian Destroyer. 1 second. I don't even need any sound for this. All right. Let me share the screen real quick so you can see that this move is a great move. It's a fantastic move, but it's been done to death.
It's getting overdone now.
Yes, man. So it holds no weight to it. So you can see this. Let's see. Let's get to the point. Get to the point. Oh my god. Why is this clip so long? I just want to see the destroyer. Here we go. Maybe coming up soon. Or not? What the hell? Where's this destroyer at?
I think it was at the front, wasn't it? No.
Was it in the front? It might have been. Hold on.
Oh no.
No, I got freaking. What the hell? This is a ridiculous clip. All right, this clip sucks. Let me find a clip. Sorry about that. Here we go. Here's the debut of the Canadian Destroyer. Same. He's doing on the same guy. Here's the destroyer. Boom.
Oh.
Great move, right? Fantastic.
That is pretty cool. That's pretty unexpected, especially for that right there, dude. For that to be the debut, that's pretty cool.
So Dustin Rhodes is doing that now, and that's apparently his finisher. He goes over on Kip Sabian, and I just say, I just put out a quote. I mean, not a quote. I put out a little comment saying, why does everybody have a problem with the older talent going over on the younger talent in WWE, but because it's AEW, no one cares. They love it. They love Dustin Rhodes. Hooray. I like Dustin Rhodes. He's great, but I don't want to see him going over on younger talent, especially in a championship tournament. I don't want to see it. I think it's crazy that and then going over with that move, with the move that's being used to death, and that's his finisher. It makes Kip Sabian look weak. People are saying like, oh no, they're not using Kip Sabian. Well, now they're really not going to be able to use Kip Sabian because they just made him look weak. So I had a problem with it, and people were like, you don't understand context. I got attacked, but you don't understand context. And I'm like, okay, dude, I honestly didn't respond to anybody. That's fun.
You gotta post on there your hot takes and then say, "Don't at me, bro," or I'm muting the conversation.
Yeah. So all right. So this past week was the second round of the tournament, and we had Cody Rhodes going up against Darby Allin, and I love Darby Allin. Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin put on great matches. I believe this is their third match. The first one ended in a draw. The second one ended with Cody Rhodes winning, but it was a very toughly fought match. So this one, another toughly fought match, but it was leading to a great ending. So Cody Rhodes tries to do Darby Allin's finisher, which is the coffin drop from the top rope. He jumps off it's basically where they jump off the top rope backwards and he lands on him. But instead of landing on him, Darby Allin gets his knees up into the back of Cody Rhodes. So Cody's on the ground. Darby goes at the top, hits the coffin drop, but apparently he goes over and he's pinning him. He's grabbing Cody's leg, but his shoulders are on the mat. So the ref counts the pin. 1, 2, 3. Darby thinks he's won, and the ref announces that Cody was the one that pinned Darby. And this is the most BS thing I've ever seen. It's a WWE type finish that I've ever seen one.
Oh, man.
And I'm glad that I'm not. And this isn't a hot take because everybody else hated it too. Honestly,
I know. I just think it's funny.
Dude. Yeah, everyone hated it too because it just made Darby Allin look so stupid. Like, how do you not realize? your shoulders are on the ground. It looks stupid. And so now am I supposed to like cheer for Cody in the next round? I just don't understand what the point of that was. I think the point of it was they kind of they booked themselves into a corner because they want Cody to have I think the reason they had this championship is because Cody lost against Chris Jericho in the match that basically said if he loses that match, he'll never challenge for the AEW World Title. So how do you get a title on Cody? You create a new one. It might not be the entire reason. I do believe they needed a mid-card title. But I even said like that mid-card title should be for guys like Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Sean Spears, so many other people, Kip Sabian, and guys like that aren't gonna be able to get into that main title picture for a while because you have guys like John Moxley, Pac, Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, and all those guys, Kenny Omega in that area. Mm-hmm. So right now it is overcrowded. Have a mid-card title for those smaller guys too, and then you have Dustin Rhodes going over on a younger guy, and then you have this stupid pin. Well, I think they didn't want Cody beating Darby Allin for a second time clean, so they came up with this stupid finish, and it did more damage than if Cody pinned him, honestly.
Yeah, I mean I agree. There's a couple of thoughts I have on that. I think one. From the first one where he's going over on was it Kip Sabian?
Kip Sabian, yeah.
I don't know, man. You just don't understand context, and
you're right.
No.
I don't understand context.
I'm thinking about it from like a long term. Man, why is there an echo? A short, long term. I guess viewpoint. And if you're saying that Rose is going to retire in a year or so, then why not build him up to be this great monster? This guy at the end, and then whoever you want to get over gets over on him towards the end because he's this great guy and he's about to retire. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking like more like around Ric Flair towards the end, where he was Ric Flair. He turned and he was the good guy now, and everybody was cheering for him. And if they beat him, then it was an accomplishment or something. At that point in their career,
maybe it could be that.
Maybe something like that. Like he shouldn't normally do that, and they should be pushing these younger guys. But if they know if you only got 1 year left of this guy, right? How can you maximize him the most? What if you build him up, super high? And then towards the end, right when you're about to let go, you start putting the other guys over on them.
It's possible. It's possible. You're not gonna be able to explain this Darby Allin one though.
The Darby Allin one, I have a very, very simple and easy explanation for you on this one.
Go ahead.
Every person who owns their business gives themselves Employee of the Month at least once.
That's true. You're not wrong.
So that's what this is, man. He owns the business. He wants to be Employee of the Month. He put his name in the basket. He's the Employee of the Month now. So that's what it is.
I don't blame you. I honestly think this was it's kind of a little bit of hubris from AEW. I'm gonna.
It is, man. It is.
They think that they can pull off anything because this loyal fan base they have, and I don't think they were expecting Darby Allin that loss to hurt him as much as it did. And I don't think it hurt him in terms of people aren't going to take Darby Allin seriously. I think it hurt more in like people are mad about it. Like people aren't going to be happy if Cody wins this championship. Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know. I could see them maybe changing the plans and not putting the belt on Cody and maybe putting it on Lance Archer, which is this guy they brought in from Japan. He's great. If they give it to Lance Archer, good on them. He's a really good heel, and I think
they're not going to do that.
He's the Warhawk.
They're not going to do it though. You know what's going to happen. Employee of the Month.
They're going to sign Brock Lesnar, and then Brock Lesnar is There's a rumor that they've been offering Brock Lesnar big money.
Dude, how would that go down, dude?
I would love it. I want them to do it so that all those AEW marks, like, yeah, they got Brock Lesnar. The same people that were complaining about Brock Lesnar in WWE. I'm gonna hate it. I think it'd be bad.
No, you're gonna love it because he's your favorite. He's your favorite wrestler, dude.
I hate you.
I mean, you're like, a schoolgirl with Brock Lesnar. Like you pick on Brock Lesnar, you pull his toes and his hair, whatever.
I pull his pigtails.
Yeah, dude. And
in reality, I love him.
In your reality, you love him, dude.
All right. Let's jump into this MMA stuff, man. Pull me into it, because I didn't see the Dana White Q&A. I saw the one quote from Donald Cerrone where I'm like, yes, let him do it.
Okay, so dude, Donald Cerrone had an interview, and I think those are the two. There's two big items that came from that. Three, maybe three. Let's say three. The first one was that big quote, the money quote, saying that, you know, he called Dana and he wants to, because Dana's saying that there's going to be 3 fight cards in 8 days, and if that's so, my mind is going to explode. And so he told Dana that, you know, once he wins on Saturday, which is next Saturday, May 9th,
yep,
UFC 249, if he wins, he wants to fight again in the 3 or 4 days, which is on that Wednesday or something. And I don't doubt in my mind that if he you know, beat your boy Pettis by a clean knockout or a body kick or something, and he's unfazed and unhurt, he would push to try to fight. Dana's not going to allow it. The athletic commission is not going to allow it. Nobody's going to allow it. But I don't doubt that he is serious and he would do it. Like, I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all.
Let him do it.
No, man, you want this man to die in the octagon.
No, I want people to get that damn idea that he quit out of his mind. Like, let Stephen A. Smith be front row for that too.
No, dude, he confirmed that he quit on there, dude. He confirmed that he quit on that. That's okay. Perfect segue. Perfect segue, Ike Miller. On that interview, he talked about the R word, the big R word that no fighter should ever say.
He said it.
He said the word retirement. He said that before that he was thinking about it, but it was a big payday and he did not want to be there, is what he said. He did not want to be there. And he said, I'm not retiring anytime soon. You know, I just thought about it. He's like, I thought my career would never end, but now I see a light at the end of the tunnel. So he's looking at it as positive. When you say there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that's a positive thing. That retirement is a positive thing for him. So I think he's retired, man. I think his mindset is not there. He says he feels it on his body when he trains now and he didn't used to. Those are the same things that every veteran fighter says. You know, the body goes first and then the mind. So his body's gone. He's not taking punishment as well as he used to. He's been getting beat up in the last couple of fights with these top fighters. So I really feel like if we have another showing like we did in the Conor McGregor fight or the Tony Ferguson fight, then I think that's it for the Cowboy, man. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. So basically what I get from that is negative and a positive. Negative is I don't, but the positive is that he sees it as a good thing light at the end of the tunnel. That's refreshing. You know, usually when you hear retirement from athletes, it's always like very somber. They're very upset about it. But to know that he has his eyes on it as a good thing, like I can settle down. You know, he has his son, he has his wife, he has his awesome, was it a ranch or something?
Yeah, the BMF ranch.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. But I would hope that he stops sooner than later if his eyes are on retirement. You know, I don't want him going into the ring, into the octagon with someone more dangerous than Anthony Pettis, you know, and then getting seriously hurt. Like, because like we said before, that orbital injury could have been it.
Well, we're about to find out, man. I mean,
yeah, you're right. We don't know the extent of it.
Yeah, because the last fight that he had was in January against Conor McGregor, and that's where the orbital got shattered. This is his first fight since then, and
quick turnaround too if you think about the injury.
Well, I mean, 5 months roughly. Yeah, 4 or 5 months roughly. We'll see, man. If he takes a punch to that side of the face and it swells up fast, and he's done, dude. Like, that's gonna continue to happen going forward. So I don't know, man. I felt like it was. I mean, it was classic Cowboy. He's being more retrospective now in his career and where he stands in the pantheon of MMA greats, because he is an MMA great. But man, he's at the very end of his career right now, man.
What is it? Most wins in UFC history?
Most wins, most performance bonuses, I think.
Most performance bonuses. That's right. Hey, man, that's something to hang your hat on. You never got to the mountaintop, but I think you can hang your hat on most wins, and that honestly, that's going to be a tough record to beat.
Dude, and the thing is that, you know, he didn't get to the top of the top of the mountain or whatever. He had 3 or 4 opportunities to do so, and every time, man, he's your classic guy who just, when the real spotlight is on him, he doesn't perform like he normally does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened time and again. At least I can count off my the top of my head 4 times with him where he's in the number 1 contenders match and he loses.
Even with even though it wasn't a number 1 contenders, but even that Conor fight, man, it's a big opportunity. Big.
Well, dude,
big,
I mean, that if he wins that fight, he's top 5 again.
Not even just wins it, but just goes all 5 or something. Takes Conor to the limit. Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, but like I said, one of the greats always will be one of the greats.
Dude, his place in the legacy is cemented already, dude. I mean,
question.
Yes.
Will any of his fights get into the Hall of Fame? Do you think?
Any of his fights? Yes. He has some earlier fights, dude. I think he fought Benson Henderson a couple times, and he fought. Yeah, dude. I think he has a couple that'll get there.
Cool. I don't know why. I just even though obviously want to get in the Hall of Fame, but something about that fight wing. It's like I feel like it would be like a really awesome badge of honor of just we had a war and we're being recognized for that war, and it kind of makes the war a little bit better.
Yeah, dude. I think MMA hasn't gotten as big with it as boxing, where they do the fight of the year and the round of the year and the comeback of the year, stuff like that. Because it's more like knockout of the year, stuff like that.
Yeah, really.
which is fine, but I agree, man. Like that, I think they're doing well with that, where they put certain fights into the Hall of Fame, because that you're right, man. Like you go to war, man, and a piece of you stays in that octagon, man.
Yeah, makes it a little bit nicer whenever you're recognized.
Yeah, it makes. I mean, I'm telling you, man. I think that's all part of recognition, and it's something that they can look to. Like, okay, well, I put my piece, I left a piece of me in there, and he did too. But now we're enshrined, and we're gonna be, forever. It's gonna be there forever.
Like, what was the most recent one? The Diego Sanchez and
Clay Guida.
And
you went back and saw that, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. That was a great fight.
That was a great fight, man. And during the fight, I was like, where is this going? How can this end, man? Because it was just back and forth, and these guys had endless, limitless energy at that point, and they didn't have enough to knock each other out or like to put your lights out. So it had to end the way it did end. So it was good, man.
Absolutely. Okay, so one more thing we want to touch on with UFC before we jump into the NFL draft,
which was Dana White had a Reddit Q&A. Let me go over some of the answers, the most popular answers, real quick. And I don't know, man. Dana is Dana. One of the questions, just a funny question to ask is, do you use shampoo or shower gel on your head? He said soap. So this one right here, I think, was really biased. He said, "What is your favorite knockout of all time?" What do you think he said?
Favorite knockout of all time?
All time.
I'm gonna say the Ben Askren one.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That makes sense, man. That's a great knockout.
Yeah, man, but I just think it's too recent. I think there's been other ones that
luckiest knockout of all time, if some will say.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I would probably put up there the Chris Weidman Anderson Silva, when Anderson Silva got knocked out for the first time and showed he was a mortal man. I thought that was.
I got one that was a sleeper from, even though it was recent, from last year. Valentina Shevchenko knocking out Jessica Eye.
Oh yeah, dude, because that one's so from a movie. Somebody wrote it. You write bulletproof, and then you get knocked out with the bullet to the head. So
it's beautiful, man. Like that. That's one. Whenever we were watching the fight, Valentina Shevchenko versus Chikagian, before that fight started, I showed everyone that I was watching the fight with that knockout, and I was like, "This is her." Like, obviously, I didn't show her the Carmouche fight, but I showed her that. Don't show the
Carmouche fight. Don't show the Carmouche fight.
I was like, "This is that chick," and then that's exactly who we saw in that fight.
The next question, which was kind of a softball question, is if you could have a rematch to any fight that never got one, what would it be? What do you think he said? Come on, it's Dana White, man.
I'm gonna say Connor and Khabib.
Connor and Khabib. I would have to say Connor versus Khabib.
Of course.
Connor wants that rematch so bad, and I would love to see it.
I don't care.
He'd love to see the money, dude. He'd love to see the money.
What's one you want to see?
Obviously, DC and Stipe. That's a big one I want to see. Because that's the trilogy. That's the end all be all. Whoever wins that is the baddest man for this generation. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see it the way I've been looking at Stipe. I don't think we're gonna see it.
I don't think so.
I'd like to see John Jones versus DC2, but
a heavyweight.
Probably a heavyweight, yeah. But
I want to see it a heavyweight.
John Jones wouldn't do it.
I know, but if that's the one that we could see, that I would want to see that we never got, that's one I would want to see.
I wouldn't want to at heavyweight. Let me tell you why. Because the way fighters are and knowing how John Jones is, if John Jones loses, he'll say, "Oh, well, you beat me at heavyweight. You didn't beat me at light heavyweight." So,
yeah, you know. I don't take anything John Jones says like it's hard anymore. I just don't care.
Yeah, but you know how it is, man. Like and that's why when Conor McGregor rematched Diaz, he didn't want to do it. Diaz wanted to do it at 155, so that it can mean something for the rankings. And he said, "No, I want to do it at 170 because you beat me at 170. I want to beat you at 170 to prove that I could beat you at 170." That's the same kind of mentality that would happen if DC and John Jones fought at heavyweight.
Okay, you want to hear mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren.
Why do you want to kill that man again?
Because I want to see Robbie Lawler whoop his.
Why do you want to see that again, dude?
Because it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Because like it's just because it was such a like, and I know he did it on purpose. Such a dick like move, like a douche thing to do. Like I don't know, I already beat him. I don't need to fight him again.
Yeah, I won't fight him anymore. I'm done.
It's great heel work from Ben Askren.
That was a dub on my part. Let's move on.
Yeah, I don't blame. And I'll tell you right now, I don't blame him. I would have done the exact same thing. Like, no, I won already. Got nothing to prove.
I think another one I like to see is going back a little old school is GSP versus Johnny Hendrix.
Okay.
We saw that fight. I don't think you've seen it. That's probably going to come up on the rematch rewatch at one point. And that's the fight where I feel like, I don't know, man. I got to go back and rewatch it. I remember I've seen it. I've scored it twice, and one time I scored it for GSP, one time I scored it for Johnny Hendrix. But that's the fight that kind of I feel changed a lot of the landscape in MMA because after that point, GSP highly suspected Johnny Hendrix of being on the juice, and he like forced Dana White to put in testing. Dang. You know, so and it's funny because people speculate to this day that GSP was on the juice at some point. So I don't know, man, and we never got to see it. And then after that, GSP fell off. Johnny Hendrix fell off a cliff when they started testing, which lends credence to that he was on the juice when he fought him.
Yeah.
But still, I'd love to see that rematch because they were at that point in time they were so closely matched, dude. It was legit.
All right, so if we haven't given any love to the women's side on the rematches, even though we might get it, I'm gonna say Joanna and Weili, run it back right now.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Run it back right now.
I want to see Rose and Andrade.
Andrade, yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like just because we were supposed to get it and it got moved, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that one. I'd also love to see. I mean, we're never gonna see this one again, but like Felicia Spencer and Cyborg, that was a good match.
Oh yeah, just see if maybe Felicia could get over on her.
Yeah, man, because she's young in the fight game, man. Like she's learning and she's gaining more experience, and she still put up a tough fight against
3 rounds with Cyborg, man.
Yeah, one of the greatest and hardest punchers in women's history. So I'd like to see that one once she has a little bit more seasoning. That's kind of like in boxing. I'd love to see Canelo versus Mayweather later on in Canelo's career because he was so young.
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, okay. let Felicia go 5 rounds with Nunes and then let her fight Cyborg. Again.
All right, dude. So another question that said, what is your fight that got away, the one you lost sleep over because of how badly you wanted it but never got to make it happen?
I guess technically it's been made happen, it just hasn't happened. But I mean, my automatic is Tony Khabib.
That's what he said, man. I mean, these are like softball questions for Dana White, but that's what he said. He says it's got to be Tony versus Khabib, and he didn't even expand on it or anything because everyone in the MMA community knows that fight is doomed and cursed because if we watch it, our heads would explode with how great it would be.
I think also the MMA community isn't ready for Khabib to lose yet.
Dude, if Khabib loses, man, if Khabib loses. I don't know, man. And I've been seeing, dude, like MMA Twitter is so great and toxic at the same time, dude. And it's just interesting that the people that I come across, like there's people posting on there saying that Khabib would manhandle and crush Tony, and they're not saying it as a hot take. They're not saying it as look at me for attention.
Yeah, they honestly believe it.
They genuinely believe it, and it's just I don't think Tony's gonna kill Khabib. I don't think Khabib's gonna kill Tony. They're just so evenly matched that it's gonna be a great fight. You know, I personally feel that Tony's what do they call it? His fight prowess and his skill set is a bad matchup for Khabib. That doesn't mean that I think Tony's going to win. I just think that if Khabib wins, he's going to have to overcome some of his deficiencies, which is gas tank, which is power, which is finishing. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to be able to do what he normally does to everybody, to Tony, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, man.
One of my least favorite things to see in the MMA community is the tweet that you always see where it's like, where they're basically like downplaying or degrading other people, like they're saying, people that are like saying something along the lines of like people that believe Tony stands a chance are out of their mind or something like, and you can say people that believe insert name here. Is stands a chance against insert name here. It constantly happens all the time. I just recently thought where people were talking about Usman and GSP. I don't know. I don't even think people have even talked about the idea of like if Usman and GSP went up against each other. But like if anyone thinks that Usman stands a chance against GSP, back in his prime, they're out of your mind. Like guys, like we can't just have like a regular conversation about it. You can't have a debate. You can't say, oh, I think this is this could happen. This could be a good fight because of this, or I think this could happen because of this. It's more like it's always that guy's gonna starch that guy. Like it's constantly that instead of like people are saying like that Tony or Gaethje are gonna starch the other. I think it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, dude, it's the same thing. Like I think Gaethje's a bad matchup for Tony. You know what I mean? Like it's just it is what it is, and I don't think he's gonna starch him. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. I think they're both professionals. I think Tony Ferguson is a madman, and I think his aura and mystique is growing. I mean, this dude made weight for a fight that didn't happen and wasn't going to happen just to prove that he can make weight and that he's on a different level. And I can tell you, it shook some fighters that he's making weight for no reason. So he's growing as this boogeyman, which is a perfect nickname for Tony Ferguson, man. He's growing. His boogeyman is growing, and Gaethje didn't seem confident, man, when he was doing those interviews 2 weeks ago. So
he got a little bit more confident. He got a little extra time, man.
Dude, I mean, I hope so, but it's gonna be a good fight, man. I think both of them know what they're going up against, and Tony's just a madman. But I agree, man. I agree that
the community needs to allow for more debates. Don't just it's speaking in what is it?
Definitives or whatever. And it's just I don't know, man. It's just some bad apples that are very loud, and I get that all the time too. Like so and so would beat so and so. Don't at me, or if you think different, you're a filthy casual, or whatever. You know, and it's just stupid, man. And it's just stupid. It's the whole gatekeeping thing. It's just a different way of doing it for MMA, and I think it's stupid. I think we need more people to tune in. We need more people to be fans so it can continue to grow and get better. I think this is gonna help, dude. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be the first live sporting event, in the US.
Yeah, and look, MMA is one of the most beautifully. It's one of those beautiful sports that anything can just happen at any moment. Look at everyone was talking about Ben Askren's gonna basically maul Masvidal, and in literally 4 seconds that was gone. or even I'm going to bring up Masvidal again, the knockout to Till, like, or even most recently, Rosenstrike versus Overeem.
Overeem.
Like anything can happen, man. 5 seconds left and you knock somebody out. It's just anything can happen in this sport, and it's beautiful, and we should all enjoy that.
Yeah. All right, man. The last question that he got asked, I think, was probably one of the better questions and his better answers.
Okay.
Which kind of shed some light on some things. It says, "Who do you think is the best fighter that never won a UFC belt?"
What did he say?
He said these are the.
I don't know enough about the history to be able to say.
He said 5 names, and I'm gonna tell you why 2 of them are really interesting.
Okay.
He said Cowboy Cerrone.
Okay. Yeah.
He said Uriah Faber.
For what he did.
He said Vanderlei Silva.
Wow, I don't even realize that he didn't win a championship. Holy shit.
Joseph Benavidez, which we just saw him go for a title and get smashed after the headbutt. So I think that's controversial.
Okay.
And Carlos Condit.
All right. What's his name? What's his nickname?
The Natural Born Killer.
Natural Born Killer. That's a great name.
And he said he said there's a long list. So there's a long list, but those were the 5 that came to mind. So this is why it's interesting for me. There's 3 fighters. Uriah Faber. So Uriah Faber never won a UFC title, but he was the long reigning WEC featherweight champion. And I'm talking about long reigning. Like he put
no one could beat him.
He put the little guys on the map.
Yeah.
So he put the little guys on the map, and he's probably one of the main reasons why the UFC bought the WEC, because of him and his contract and his stardom in California.
Yeah.
So although he didn't win a UFC championship, which he was already, I think, late 20s, maybe early 30s, whenever he came over to the division, to the UFC. I mean, I still consider him a champion. I don't consider him a UFC champion, or even then, like I will probably still consider him a UFC champion. Like if the WEC was in the UFC before, or if they had that weight class before, he'd be champion easy. He was the cream of the crop for a good 4 or 5 years, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And yeah, like I said, whenever you said his name, I was like, for what he did for the division, for sure.
Yeah, man, he's up there, man. Carlos Condit. So he said Carlos Condit. The thing about Carlos Condit is Carlos Condit was also a WEC champion. He was actually the last 170-pound WEC champion. And if I'm not mistaken, he was an interim UFC champion. And so he fought. That's what I'm saying. So that tells me that Dana White doesn't value interim championships
don't even have it
at all. Exactly. And then the third one was Vanderlei Silva. So Vanderlei Silva was also... He was a Pride champion for middleweight and welterweight. So it was he was a 185-pound middleweight and light heavyweight. So middleweight 185 and a 205-pound champion at Pride at the same time. So he was one of the original champs.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also a Grand Prix champion, which is freaking crazy, dude. So what that means is that they had a tournament over one night or 2 nights, and he won that. So you know what I'm saying? So he and the UFC bought Pride.
Yeah.
So just because he wasn't in the UFC at that time,
it should go into it.
He was widely considered the number 1 205-pound fighter in the world, even though Chuck Liddell was over here on this side kicking ass and taking names.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Vanderlei in his prime. I don't know. Well, that's the other thing too. He was probably juiced to the gills in Pride. But it wasn't a doubt that he was number 1 and Chuck Liddell was either 1B or 2. Yeah. And we never got to see that fight happen in their prime. We got to see it afterwards, but not in their prime. I don't even know if they fought. I don't remember. But
did they fight?
I don't know. I think they did. I don't think they did. I think when he came over, he fought Dan Henderson and Quentin Jackson. I don't remember.
I don't think he fought him.
Chuck Liddell, right?
No, I don't think he did. I might be wrong. You know, that was such a long time ago. That was another time that I was really into it, and because also he should be in the Hall of Fame just for his name alone.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame, dude. I mean, that's
murderer.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there for sure, dude. I mean, he has the best bar none stare down out of any MMA fighter. He mastered the mind games from an early stage, dude. I mean, I'll send it to you right now so you can put it on and you can see what I'm talking about, dude. And he was just
Like I said, man, the axe murderer. He looked like an axe murderer. He legit looked like he murdered somebody. He might have. I don't know.
yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
All right, man. So,
Oh yeah, so that was it. That was
yeah.
the last. That was the last question that they highlighted on the Q&A through ESPN. I didn't check out the whole thread, but there was some other stuff on there too. Like, oh shoot, let me send it via email. Right, email's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the last email on ESPN for the Reddit MMA. There was some other questions on there that were kind of dumb, and I think he answered them with one word answers, and some of them like they were berating him. I don't know, man. He's kind of in a tough spot. He wants his business to thrive, but I don't know. We can talk about it opening up early as well, since Texas might be a host state, since we're opening up on Monday, and they specifically announced that sporting events are allowed as long as it's 4 participants or less. There's not that many sports that have 4 participants or less, except boxing, MMA, things of that nature, tennis,
yeah.
You know,
Golf.
maybe golf, but there's a lot more participants. Just,
yeah.
What would you consider a participant?
A caddy, maybe. Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
I don't know, man. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think from that standpoint, I can't control them. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. I don't approve of it. I wouldn't want them to, especially with this whole weight cutting. It compromises the immune system. And I don't know. They're supposed to be working with wherever they're gonna have it at to put in some procedures in place to help with identifying any potential people that may be sick. But I haven't seen concrete evidence of that or for sure. And that's also on purpose by plan from Dana White, because he does not want this one to get canceled. He learned from the first one.
Yeah.
So I fully anticipate that we are going to have the show go on Saturday. I'm not going to, be holier than thou and say, cry from the rafters and say, this is ridiculous. They shouldn't be doing it. We all know they shouldn't be doing it, but it's going to happen. So at this point, I'm going to talk about it, and I am excited for it as a fan, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm watching. I don't care what anybody says. I'm watching. I've been thirsty for some sports, and I want it.
Dude, I'm really excited to see how it's going to do, man.
Me too. I think it'll be a very highly watched. I think a lot of people will be watching. All right, man. So let's go ahead and jump into our main topic, which is the NFL draft, the 2020 NFL draft. Basically done entirely digital. Everyone was doing it from the comfort of their own house. And I'm going to say, I like the setup. I like it a lot. I think it really helped humanize some of these coaches. Seeing Bill Belichick's dog was great too. But I honestly really like the idea of I liked how it worked out. I know it was kind of thrown together because of circumstances. But and people were talking about the kids, and every year you see the kids from their home. They don't, except at the first round, the kids that are gonna be taken in the first round. But every year you see the kids in their home and with their families and all that. That wasn't anything new to me. It was mostly seeing the coaches, seeing the personnel, like the VP of player personnel and all that. It was refreshing. It was nicer.
Dude, it was so legit for me, man. Like, I want it to be like this
every
year because we got so much more out of it. So I'll give you some examples.
The kids, I love the kids.
The kids are great, but I'm talking about like how self-aware Goodell is with the whole boo.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
That was awesome, dude. That was like, okay, dude. Okay, I get it now. You know what's up. You're.
He's like, come on, guys, I can't hear you.
Yeah, dude, that was so funny. I thought it was funny. He reminded me of what was that show where that guy from Star Trek would intro it? Was the Twilight Zone, and it was the guy from Star Trek. You know what I'm talking about at the very beginning.
Leonard Nimoy.
No. It wasn't him. It was the other guy. The Picard number 2. The second guy in command for Picard.
Oh damn it! I can't remember his name.
I think it was a Twilight Zone, dude. I'll send that to you too. But he would intro the show, or he would exit, like he'd be the last one to talk about the show, and that's why we do this. That was the vibe that I got from Cadell standing in his basement with his desk and all the stuff in the background. It was just funny. It was just funny. Yeah, dude, it was good. And then a couple other things. We got to see the teapot blow up, which is awesome. I loved it. The Bill O'Brien blow up. His nickname is a teapot because he's always simmering and he can just go off at any time.
Did you hear why?
Yeah, because they screwed him.
The trade
screwed him, and he just went off and he went off on him, and you can lip read and see. And
we gotta take Blacklock now.
Yeah, and no, it was the third round.
What was his name?
Grenard or something.
Oh, Grenard, yeah.
But then his kids were there. It's just comedy gold, man. It's hilarious, man. And then the other one where the two things that came out from the players that were hilarious were where the mom took the girlfriend off of his lap because she was taking the shine off of him. That was hilarious. I was like, oh man, you couldn't script that better. Like that's gonna happen.
There's one more.
The one where he takes the phone away from the girlfriend.
Lamb.
He takes the phone away from the girlfriend, and he's like, "Nope, you're not looking at my phone right now."
Did you see the tweet?
Yeah, what he say? He said something like,
he basically was like, "No, I wasn't even like that, fam." Like, chill. And they're like, "No, bro."
It was exactly like that.
Like you, like straight up, like you didn't let her do anything. No hesitation.
Nope. Yep. I love it. It was like instinct. Like, nope, give me that.
Yeah, man, it was great.
Man.
I
don't know, man. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't normally watch the draft, man. I'm not a big draft guy. I like reading the draft grades later, and then going back later and watching
like 3-4 years, like when they redraft.
No, doing that. But I'm talking about, like, for example, when I was a legit Texas fan, because I don't consider myself that anymore. I look at the whole draft and then I'd go and watch tape on them because I don't want to watch tape on all these guys and then we're not going to get them and me get high on a guy and say, man, they could have had this guy and these dumbasses picked that guy. Mm-hmm. So like now I already knew about Blaylock. I knew he was one of the top defensive linemen in the draft. And I thought he was, I didn't think he was going to be on the board at that point. I'm happy that we got him. He's a big dude. He can shed blocks. He can take on two guys. He can disrupt. And he can get penetration. I honestly feel like he's like almost a clone of DJ Reader, dude.
It's the reason why you're okay with letting DJ Reader go.
Yeah, but we didn't know that when we let him go. You know what I mean? That we were gonna get a first round grade guy in the second round.
Yeah, the thing is, in this draft, especially, a lot of first round talent fell.
Yeah, dude.
It was very surprising, and I think it's just because honestly, this draft was one of the more talented drafts that we've seen. Maybe not in quarterback, even though we had up top you have Joe Burrow and Tua, and even I don't love Justin Herbert, but I understand he has the tools to be a great quarterback if he can harness them. But in this draft, it was very much defensive players, wide receivers. Running backs?
The wide receiver and the running backs are crazy too, man.
Amazing. That's why ETN didn't come out this draft. ETN said, "I'll go do one more year."
Yeah, one more.
I'll be running back next year.
One more thing, real quick, dude, about the draft. I forgot to say before we go into the players and stuff, but Kingsbury, man. Kingsbury. Well, not only that, but did you see his house, man?
Oh yes, dude. It was like all white.
Dude,
yes.
It's like he was
that check, bro.
Yeah, they were exactly. They were like, man, Kingsbury putting all these other guys to shame with their little setups where he has this ridiculous thing out of a movie set, basically. I mean, there was mountains in the background. There was a pool house. There was a pool.
Beautiful.
Immaculately manicured, even under these circumstances. It was just ridiculous, dude.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for that guy, man. Good for that guy. I'm sure he's had a horrible time in his life. I'm sure he was picked on as ugly duckling as well, and now he has no money either. So poor guy.
Good for him. Good for him. He's got the nice house. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's got Isaiah Simmons.
You got Kyler Murray. You got Kyler Murray as quarterback.
I'm a Cardinals fan now, man. He got my favorite wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. I like Kyler Murray a lot. I'm gonna always cheer for Kyler Murray, and I think Isaiah Simmons is one of my favorite players in the draft.
Yeah, dude, he has hands. He can catch out the backfield. So I mean, that's a pretty good pick overall. I was just surprised they didn't get any line help, offensive line help for Murray, because it felt like he was under pressure all the time last year, man. That's partly also due to him being a rookie and not understanding that he needs to let go of the ball. Yeah, but at the same time, like it could be the same. Like it's chicken or the egg. Does he feel he doesn't have enough time, and that's why he breaks out because he doesn't have a good line, or vice versa? So I was surprised that they didn't go early for line help.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the second round. Who did they take in the second round? Oh, I forgot they don't have it. They didn't have a second round pick.
Mm-mm.
We had their second round pick, and we traded our other one away.
Yeah,
traded our other one to the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
They went offensive tackle in the third round, Josh Jones.
Josh Jones is a good pick, though.
Yeah,
it's a good value pick. Like he wasn't quite good enough to go first round. He probably could have won that second round, but didn't get picked up. So I think that was a good pick for them as well.
Then they went defensive fourth round, defensive tackle. Then they went defensive tackle fourth round. So 2 defensive tackles in the fourth round, a linebacker in the 6th, and a running back in the 7th.
Yeah, but the number one for me is Isaiah Simmons, man. I love Isaiah. All right, but let's go ahead and jump into these players, man.
Let's do it, man.
All right. So I think the first 3 picks basically went exactly how we thought. Maybe even some people would say the first 5. So
I don't know the first 5. I don't know.
Well, because I think the wild card was that New York Giants pick. Come here, Elijah. Come here, baby. Was that New York Giants pick? I didn't know exactly what I figured they were going to go offensive tackle. I just didn't know if they were going to go with Wills or with Thomas or with what was his name? The one that got taken by Becton. Maybe it could have went either one of those because really the Giants just need help all across the board.
Yes,
but yeah, I would say top 5, maybe excluding that New York Giants pick. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy.
You thought Miami was going to take Tua?
I did. I thought that was any talk of Herbert was all posturing. I had no doubt. Like it was tank for Tua. They have Fitzpatrick, so he can sit out for a year, which I think.
You mean Fitzmagic?
Sorry, Fitzmagic, exactly. Conor McGregor, yeah, I honestly had no doubt that they were gonna get Tua. My brother-in-law was a little worried. He was sending me memes of people throwing themselves off of staircases, and the caption was, "And with the 5th pick, the Miami Dolphins select Justin." And you see, I'm like, oh man, that would be amazing. But no, I had no doubt. I think Tua was the safe pick for them, honestly. So yeah, let's just go to number 1. Obviously, Joe Burrow. Not really much to say about him, except I think he's a talented kid. The only worry with me is that it was 1 year of greatness, but it was probably one of the single greatest seasons that we've seen in college football. So
yeah, I mean, you can't. It's like the Clowney pick, man. You can't not take him if you need him. If you need a quarterback, the problem with him, like you said, is twofold. In my opinion, is one, like you said, it's a 1 year thing, Yeah. And then 2, his age, man. He's already old. Like,
yeah,
he's not
older than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but he's pretty old for being a college player. That can be construed 2 different ways. Like, he's more mature. He's gonna get the concepts better. but then I can also be construed as it took him that long to play
to
at
get to
that
that level.
level. Yeah, so it might take longer to get him up to the next level. You know,
And how long can
those are
he?
and then the other thing that compounds that is I don't really think he wanted to go to Cincinnati, man. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to go to Cincinnati, but they were posturing that he wants to go to a place that wins championships or that's trying to win championships.
Be the number one pick. That doesn't happen. That's the thing. If you
I
want to be the
mean,
best player in the draft, you don't go to a championship team right away.
yeah, man, and it just I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't. Well, I mean, obviously we'll circle back in like 2-3 years on this pick,
Yeah.
but I just don't think it's gonna be successful.
All right. So my philosophy, I believe, when you're picking in these top 5 picks, maybe even more, but at least in these top 5 picks, you go with the best player available. Is my philosophy. Uh, Honestly, no matter who you think that best player is, I understand why going with Joe Burrow. My best player in the draft, however, is Chase Young. But you got the quarterback. You have the young coach, Zach Taylor. You want to give Zach Taylor the freedom to pick his quarterback, and that's why I said like it was Joe Burrow the whole time. Even I think there were some reports that were saying that they're thinking about trading away that pick, that number 1 pick, and I was like, no, like Zach Taylor, you want your new coach to have his pick at quarterback, and if he wants Joe Burrow, you let him go out and get Joe Burrow. So I completely get it. He has a nice little group of receivers around him, and Auden Tate, Tyler Boyd. It's Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, he's still there.
Tyler Boyd,
They
AJ Green's
franchised
still there.
AJ. They franchised AJ Green, and they
Yeah,
also picked a speedy wide receiver in the draft too.
yeah. So he's gonna have a nice little collection. I think didn't they take a tight end too? Did they take a tight end? I'm mistaken. Yeah, they got a nice little selection of receivers for him to throw to. So I think he's gonna, as long as I don't know if they can protect him, but Joe Burrow will have plenty of opportunity to try to prove himself because you will be down in a lot of games. What can you do when you're down?
I mean, he's gonna throw the ball. He's gonna fling it, especially with Cincinnati. The thing too about having the new coach and having his pick. I mean, this basically eliminates all excuses, and it also kind of sucks for Joe Burrow unless Joe Burrow can prove that he's a great quarterback and that they're only losing because of their coach. I mean, their wagons are tied to each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches, Bill O'Brien, avoid getting a quarterback for the first 4 years, 5 years, so they can learn how to be a coach, and then they get their quarterback, because of the same reason that once you tie your name to a quarterback, they say this is my guy. If that guy doesn't make it, you don't make it. They cut you. So these guys are tied at the hip, and we'll see what happens, man.
All right. Pick number 2, once again, basically set in stone. Chase Young to the Washington Redskins. I will say this is a great pick, not only for the Redskins, but I think also for Chase Young. Man, Ron Rivera is a very, very seasoned coach, a very good coach. I think him and Chase Young are going to have some fun together, and I'm looking forward to seeing this team play. I think the Washington Redskins had a secretly quiet, a very quiet, good draft. And they also have Montez Sweat. I love Montez Sweat. I love Montez Sweat.
I think slowly
they're building.
They're building.
Give Ron Rivera the amount of time to actually build.
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to even the Robert Griffin and what's his name, Kirk Cousins, draft. That was kind of bold, but it kind of worked out for them. They got some prime playing years from two quarterbacks. Actually.
Unfortunately, Robert Griffin III didn't know how to slide.
How to be a professional either. But I feel like even though, and it's just, I don't think I'd ever say this, but even though it's owned by Dan Snyder and he's an egomaniac, I think they are starting to make some headway into making solid decisions as an organization. I like the Jay Gruden pick as a head coach when it happened, and I think he wasn't all that bad. I think he lost the team in the end. But this Ron Rivera pick is great, man. Like, I feel he's a great coach, and I feel he's going to bring way more wins to that franchise than they've had in in a good while. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they went to the playoffs with Robert Griffin, right?
Yeah, they went his rookie year.
Rookie year, and then they
He
went
won
with
the division.
and then did they go with Kirk Cousins? I think they went with Kirk Cousins too, at least one year maybe.
Ooh, maybe 1 year.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like they've been at the bottom, of the doldrums and scrubbing the bottom of the floor, but I think they made a lot of great moves, man, and picking the best player in the draft at number 2. I mean, that's you can never go wrong with that, man. Especially
Yeah, man.
especially for a defensive minded coach, man. He just got he
Yeah,
got
but he had a nice little new toy.
yeah, man. So yeah, I'm kind of keeping my eye on them.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. All right, let's go ahead and go jump into the third one. This is probably the one that I was like, if the Lions stay, this is where they were gonna go. But there was talk, and I was a little afraid that Matt Patricia was an idiot and would trade his pick to the New England Patriots. I was afraid Bill Belichick would like swindle him or
Oh,
something.
dude, you sound kind of muffled right now because of the mic, I think.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Okay, there. Better.
There you go. Yeah, better, way
Okay,
better.
sorry. Yeah, I was like, man, don't let Bill Belichick get a hold of this man and convince him to give him the third pick overall. And luckily he didn't. And I think this is a great pick for him. They lost Darius Slay. Okuda is the best corner in the draft. There was no doubt about it. And interesting to see where this goes, man. I think Matt Patricia and specifically Matthew Stafford too are going to be on the hot seat this year, man. If they finish in this low range of teams, I think one or both guys will be gone.
I mean, this goes back to the Belichick coaching tree. There's been very few that have been successful directly from the Belichick coaching tree. I think this is going to be potentially another one that's not as successful. And I like Matt Patricia. I like him. But then again, you kind of lose it as far as what is Matt Patricia as far as a defensive coordinator goes, because Bill Belichick is a defensive coordinator in New England, and he's the one who honestly, he does both sides now because he knows what defenses are trying to do, so he creates an offense to beat that. But his defense has always been set in stone for the most part. And you can see little facets of change based on the defensive coordinators that he has. But it's different once you become a head coach, man. And I mean, obviously we continue to see that just because you studied under Bill Belichick, you can't be Bill Belichick,
Yeah,
for
sure.
I've seen a lot of Detroit fans upset at this pick, not necessarily because of the player that they got, but because they had to get this player at this pick because they lost Darius Slay, and I think they also cut somebody else. I think who they cut as a corner.
I don't remember, man. I pay much attention to Detroit, honestly.
Yeah, but they were upset. Basically, the fans were saying that if they wouldn't had a double whammy with losing Slay and cutting that other guy, then maybe they didn't have to pick him at number 3, and they could have gone something else that they needed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next pick. So we have what's going on, Angel? How you doing, man? Good to see that you're able to join at the last minute. We're talking NFL draft at the moment. You kind of missed the wrestling and MMA talk and the movie talk. So if you want to stick around, listen to what we think about the NFL draft, be good to have you, man. Thank you for joining us again.
Absolutely, man. We might sneak in some more stuff about what we're gonna see next or what we're gonna do next, and then also maybe give up a preview to the Tuesday show too.
Definitely. All right, let's jump into the next pick. So we have the New York Giants picking number 4, Andrew Thomas. I'm sorry, I don't have the colleges that these guys are from. Do you have the colleges?
Georgia.
Okay, Georgia. So he's protecting Jake Fromm for a very long time. Not my number 1 tackle, but I think he was my number 2 tackle for sure.
It was basically a.
It was whatever
it was like what you felt was better for your team.
What color do you like better?
Yeah, who played against better people in your opinion, better competition in your opinion, and you just go with it from there because these guys were really close together, man.
Yeah, for sure. So Andrew Thomas going here. I think it's a good pickup for the Giants. They definitely need someone to keep Daniel Jones standing upright. Can't go wrong with an offensive tackle here, and really that's really all to say about the draft with that pick.
Yeah, I mean they got stuff. I mean Daniel Jones is supposedly the next guy. I don't know. I mean he made some good plays and good good what's it called? Showing some good, but he's also shown some bad. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh
That first part of his rookie year, man, he was impressing people, and then it just kind
your
of
mic,
fell
bro.
off.
Your mic.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Yeah, he just kind of started to fall off towards the end.
Yeah, man. But this is kind of interesting to me because I guess you if you don't like Tua there, because you're basically saying this guy Daniel Jones is the guy. You're going to protect him because if he wasn't the guy, you would pick Tua there, being that you're going to find out one more year of this Daniel Jones to see if he is the guy, and if not, you got Tua waiting because it might take him a year to play or to get better to be enough to play. So that's why that was an interesting pick to me. But I guess the brass in New York feels that Jones is the guy, and they want to protect this guy and keep him upright, which they desperately need to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go and jump into number 5. Like I said, not really a surprise pick for me. Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama going to the Miami Dolphins. I think this is the guy they had their eye on from the beginning of the season. Obviously, because of the injury that Tua sustained, a lot of people were thinking that that wasn't going to happen. I honestly believe that wasn't the case, and really, when Miami started winning games, I was like, oh man, guys, y'all lost Tua. And honestly, the injury kind of helped them get to him, man. Injury and also Joe Burrow playing his ass off.
Yeah, but also, I mean, they have 3 first-round picks, man. They can gamble one of them.
They're 3 first-round picks.
You know what I mean?
And I think, honestly, even though he hasn't shown it yet, I think Brian Flores is a great coach. I like him a lot as a coach.
He's from the tree too, right?
I'm sorry?
He's from the Belichick tree too, isn't he?
From the Belichick tree, but he's one of those guys he's more of a no-nonsense guy, but he's likable. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's kind of
thing about these Belichick guys, they're not really likable. But something about Brian Flores, he's able to rally this team around. Like, this team should not have won any games.
Dude. They traded away right before the season started. They're starting Pro Bowl left tackle.
They're starting one of their starting wide receivers.
One of the running backs that became a Pro Bowler and probably one of the best running backs in the league, and Kenyon Drake.
Yep.
So, dude, Kenyon Drake's in Arizona, right?
Yep.
So they have him and Isaiah Simmons now?
Well, Isaiah Simmons is a linebacker.
No, he's not.
He's a linebacker safety.
Is he? Hold on.
Yeah. He plays a little bit of safety, but
my bad. I was thinking about the wrong guy.
You're thinking of DeAndre Swift?
I think so.
That might have been who you're thinking. Swift is the running back from Georgia.
There you go. Okay, so before that, so they traded those guys before the draft. And I mean, that's literally trading away your best players on the team right before the year starts, and you still win. How many games did they win? 5 games?
Yeah, they won 5 games.
They went 5 games. 5-11. And
spoiled. Also, real quick, spoiled the Patriots' chance to get the 2 seed.
Yeah,
so is the reason they had to play the Titans in the playoffs and lose.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like, I think Brian Flores is creating a winning culture there.
Absolutely.
He didn't let those guys give up. And that was the main thing that I pulled from that season with them, is he didn't let them give up. He basically told them, like, "Yo, we're gonna win games. We're not here to tank. We're not here to lose. We're here to win." And because of the injury, they were able to get the guy they wanted all along. They might have to hold off on him, maybe redshirt him for a year, but they'll probably be honestly being his best for Tua. So I like the pick. It's a good pick.
I mean, I like the pick too, but the Heat, like you said, I think there's a culture change going on in Miami. I gathered a lot of the same of what you gathered from that season, especially towards the end when they were winning. I also gathered that he's a good coach, man. I mean, these guys want to play for him.
Yeah.
They're not giving up on him, and they're not, like they had. I don't know. They still wanted to win. They were still playing at the end where they had nothing to play for. So I think he's going to do good. I think it'd be interesting to see if they hadn't traded all their guys how many wins they could have gotten from 5. Could they have gotten 7?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Could they have been 8-8?
It's crazy. If they had, we'll see, man. We'll see. I think they could have, if they had a decent quarterback, and someone that played every single game instead of switching out some guys. But yeah, man, very interesting to see how the season goes for the Dolphins. I know my brother-in-law is definitely looking forward to. All right, so real quick, I have a message from Angel right here, real quick. He just basically just wanted me to share the good news. He had some good news this past week, being announced that he is going to be going to child support court to try and get some kind of custody with his kids. So
nice, man. That's awesome, dude.
He has 2 little boys. Hasn't been able to see them in a while, so he's going to be going to child support court in June to see if he will be allowed any kind of visitation.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. Hopefully everything turns out good for you, brother. Also, one more thing. I need to get a receiver. Should I get Judy, Henry Ruggs, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, or I think that's really the top ones that I'm looking at.
I'm a Judy believer.
Judy believer. I was thinking Judy, but I'm like, man, Drew Lock.
Oh, that's true.
It's Drew Lock, but then Henry Ruggs is Derek Carr. Justin Jefferson. I like Justin Jefferson a lot, but he's Kirk Cousins. And then Jalen Reagor, he's got Carson Wentz, but
he also has Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, man. I think I'm gonna go Judy. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll go Judy. I have a 2nd round pick. I have the 2nd pick in the 2nd round, so I might be able to get another guy. All right, right back into this. Sorry about that, real quick. All right, we have number 6 pick. This was a no-brainer after Tua was gone. Justin Herbert to the Los Angeles Chargers. They finally let go of Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers going to the Indianapolis Colts. So good pick. I'm not a believer in Justin Herbert, but he can always prove me wrong. He's got a lot of weapons over there in LA.
Yeah, but so did Philip Rivers. So
yeah, well, Philip Rivers is also on the downside of his career.
Dude,
I also think that the offensive line is not great. I don't know, man.
I had a question about this, man. Like, this happens every year. A guy comes out that's either from a smaller school or I don't know, and he just looks the part. He has the measurables, but he didn't have a great season or a great career. Mm-hmm. I mean, the same thing that happened with I mean, who else has been like that? That's come out and they say, "Oh, he licks the role, he looks the part." I'm just thinking of like Derek Carr, not Derek Carr.
Dude, right off the bat, I think of guys like from way back then, like Blaine Gabbert.
Yes.
Jake Locker.
Yes.
Christian Ponder.
Those guys. When has it worked?
Never. Doesn't work.
I mean, and I could say like, Russell Wilson, but he wasn't your prototypical guy, and he wasn't drafted in the first round, and he didn't move up the draft boards. He had to beat out, Matt Flynn or whatever, and he became a great player because he is a great player. He just didn't have the prototypical body type or whatever, or career, whatever. But these guys, it never works, man. It never works.
Yeah.
They come out of nowhere, and they have a big arm, and they were just in the wrong this or whatever. No, man, a great player will always be a great player, and he'll bring his teammates up.
Yeah, I think the one that even though it doesn't necessarily fit your criteria now, and we'll get to him later, who I have above Justin Herbert is Jordan Love. Like, I think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert, and I think he has more talent and potential than Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert, like you said, is the prototypical guy, but a lot of times these prototypical guys don't necessarily pan out. They don't because they don't necessarily have the talent. They have the build, they have the arm strength, but they don't have the accuracy. They don't have the short accuracy, mid accuracy, or deep accuracy, and they don't have the it factor. Sometimes you need that it factor of someone that will just go out there and get you a Deshaun Watson or a Patrick Mahomes that'll just, oh, you need 7 yards? Okay, we got a guy here that will go out there and get you 7 yards.
Exactly, man. They have that wherewithal and the understanding of the game to do it. Also, man, some of these guys maybe don't have the work ethic, or there's a reason why they're at a mid tier college versus a SEC school or a Big 12, Big 10, whatever school. So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go into the number 7 pick. Another great pick right here. Derek Brown, defensive tackle to the Carolina Panthers. This is a really good pick for the Carolina Panthers. Matt Rule seems to be focusing heavily on that defensive side, which I don't blame him at all.
Well, dude, they lost Kuechly now.
Lost Kuechly. They've always kind of, especially in that middle, they haven't been able to find that middle defensive tackle that can just clog up the middle.
Well, they had that guy for a while, Star Latualeli or something like that.
Who was just kind of like he was a space taker.
Serviceable. He was serviceable.
Yeah. He was there. You weren't really going to get around him, but he wasn't going to pressure you. This guy, Derek Brown, is really good at getting pressure, I think. And it's something that's actually kind of rare that you don't get much of that from defensive tackles. Really, from a defensive tackle, you want a run stopper, a run stuffer, someone that can clog up the holes. But when you can get someone that can actually get pressure on a quarterback, that's always good to see. So yeah, I like it. And people hate on the pick. Hate on the coach. I want to see what Matt Rule. I'm willing to give Matt Rule an opportunity because he built up. It was the Baylor program, and now Baylor. People respect Baylor as a football team now. So I'm willing to give him the chance over there in Carolina. Whereas like the guy from hold on one second, the guy that got hired by the New York Giants, he's the guy that's like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, well, that guy. That was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, but like Matt Rule has at least like earned his stripes.
Well, Matt Rule has took the playbook from Bill O'Brien and went to a program that was coming out of maybe some controversy.
Pull it out of it.
And yeah, dude, and basically made lemonade out of lemons, and he got rewarded for that with a job in the big leagues. So now I'm just waiting for total domination from Matt Rule so that he could become the GM and the coach, just like Bill O'Brien. I mean, he's working from the same playbook, dude.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
It's coming, dude.
It's coming. All right, let's go to the next pick. Once again, I feel like I keep saying that. A good pick here. Isaiah Simmons to the Arizona Cardinals. We've already talked about him a lot. I think he's one of the more talented guys up there with Chase Young in terms of defensive talent.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put it together?
Feel for the game too.
Yeah, like he has the nose for the ball. He'll find it. He will get that ball. So I like the pick for Isaiah Simmons to the Arizona Cardinals. Now that they got their wide receiver, they didn't necessarily need to pick because I think before they got DeAndre, I was picking Jerry Jeudy to them or CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, a lot of people I think were.
But now that they got their receiver, they were able to focus on their defensive side, which also needed a lot of help this past year. So good pick for the Arizona Cardinals here.
I agree.
All right, next one. This one came out of nowhere for me. I know the Jacksonville Jaguars needed a cornerback. I don't necessarily believe C.J. Henderson was the guy. He's not the most talented corner after Jeff Okudah.
Who would you get after? A.J. Terrell?
I had
David Arnett.
Let me see. See, not even Arnett. Like, who was it? Where's the guy? I had a guy that got picked later on.
Noah Igbanogay, or Jeff Gladney.
Gladney was the one that I thought was probably the next best.
Oh, the thing about Gladney is, I mean, he played at TCU.
Yeah.
And there was 1, 2, 3 picked. So 3 teams thought that Gladney wasn't. So 4. So he was a fifth highest. So I know you had him ranked higher, but I don't know. I think these guys are also pretty close. But I also don't think that C.J. Henderson was the leader of that pack.
Me neither.
Yeah, after the Okudah pick.
For sure. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they saw something. Jacksonville has a habit of getting really good
corners,
but then when they leave, they don't really do much.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is he played at Florida, so it's kind of not a big transition for him. Maybe they're factoring that into it.
True.
Uh,
He's a name. He's a known commodity around there.
yeah, and they probably have a lot of film, a lot of scouting on him in person, and so that's probably why.
Yeah, for sure. All right, number 10, Jedrick Wills to the Cleveland Browns. No brainer. They need someone to protect him. They just lost their top tackle, if I'm not mistaken, the Browns. I can't remember what his name was, but I believe they lost him.
And they lost the other guy too that was there for a long time. Remember?
He retired, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, him.
So yeah, this is a no-brainer, and maybe this will help them get more wins. Next one,
you need to stop doing those commercials.
Yeah. This is what my brother-in-law was hoping would fall to the Miami Dolphins' next pick. Mekhi Becton from the New York Jets.
That wasn't going to happen.
This dude's I told him. The dude's a monster.
Yeah, dude, that wasn't going to happen.
I think he was just hoping more that there weren't going to be as many offensive tackles taken.
Dude,
but man,
offensive tackles are gold. They're gold.
Because if you can develop the right one, man, you're set for a very long time.
Yeah, man. And if you get a couple on that line, you create a solid line, and you become the Cowboys when they're just bullying people with the offensive line, man.
Yeah, or you create someone or you make someone, you develop someone so that Bill O'Brien will trade 2 first-rounders for them.
At least 2 first-rounders.
All right. Yeah, that was a lot of salt. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Next up, the first wide receiver taken by a surprise to me, Henry Ruggs III. And honestly, it probably shouldn't have been a surprise to me because Al Davis is probably cheering in his grave.
Burner.
Speed over everything for the Raiders. Just because they're leaving Oakland does not change that fact.
No, dude, it's ingrained in their DNA. I love it. I feel like it's a little quirk for them, and
exactly.
Like if they're the number 1 pick and they need a quarterback and he doesn't run a 4.5, they're not gonna pick him.
Hey, and every now and then they hit, man. Like they hit every now and then, and it's something about these. We all know these Alabama wide receivers are legit. They're nothing to ever sneeze at. I like
and honestly, dude. I mean, in fairness too, I think we got to give them credit because throughout the week they play against that Alabama defense and those corners, and so they've seen high level defenses. So I'm not too crazy about the pick as far as like with the first wide receiver going off the board, but I like the pick either way.
That and those receivers go against the real DBU in LSU every year. None of this Ohio State DBU propaganda.
That's exactly what it is, propaganda.
Propaganda, man. I hope my brother watches this. My brother's a big Ohio State fan. All right, bro, that's not DBU, man. It's LSU, bro. It's LSU.
Sorry.
But you know what? Good for Henry Ruggs, and he's one of those speedster guys. He's not like a Darius Hayward-Bay when he got picked a couple years ago.
No hands. Darius Hayward-Bay. Yeah,
Henry Ruggs has hands, man. So,
yeah, he can catch.
Next up, number 13, for Tampa Bay. They need someone big on that offensive line.
You mean Tampa Bay?
Oh, sorry, Tampa Bay. Hey, I don't want to say it and get
sued.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued.
This is my new team right here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I don't blame you, man. There's a lot of talent on this team.
Again, I was on this train before Tom Brady came. I actually think I helped Tom Brady sign there. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But I like this pick. They need to protect him, keep him upright. He's a statue back there. So I'm okay with it. They already have a ton of talent around him. That's probably one of the reasons why he picked Tampa Bay.
Mike Evans, O.J. Howard.
Gronkowski was there by some way, somehow. So
he finds his way there. He literally sat out the entire year last year.
Yeah,
also he's a champion in the WWE, and he said he's still going to defend. he's the 24/7 champion, which is that joke championship that is defended everywhere. And I think who said it? Dude, I can't remember who said it, but they said like the best thing ever would be if it's Brad Gilmore. He's from Houston. He was saying that the best thing in the world would be if Gronkowski catches the touchdown from Tom, and then someone comes in
right there.
It'd be great, man. And like the WWE would be dumb not to work with the NFL. The NFL, I don't want to say they'll be dumb, but it'd be really smart booking, man. It'd be great.
No, dude. Well, I don't know. Now that the XFL has declared bankruptcy, then that's probably more of a potential now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and once again, we didn't even talk about the pick. Tristan Wirfs, he's a good tackle. He's a good tackle to have around him, and Tom needs people to block for him. That's it.
That's it.
Not really much to say about it. Yeah, it's a good pick. Next up, San Francisco 49ers beef up the defense even more than I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to go wide receiver here because of
they traded Marquise Goodwin.
Well, that was after. So
I mean,
they obviously had that in mind.
Exactly, and they didn't get a wide receiver up here where there was a bunch of wide receivers available. I mean, Jerry Jeudy was right there.
We're gonna talk about the best one that I think my favorite receiver in the draft, Jerry Jeudy next. But Javon Kinlaw, man, like for an offensive-minded coach, he likes to have a lot of defense around, man. Maybe just so you don't have to worry about that side of the ball.
Maybe so he could keep the game manager Garoppolo in the role. So
that's true. Kinlaw's a really good defensive tackle, big guy, man. So excited to see what happens with him. Number 15, my top receiver in the draft, Jerry Jeudy, to the Denver Broncos. Good pick. I think this is for sure. Definitely, this is what they needed. The Denver Broncos needed somebody with spectacular hands to kind of be the safety net for Drew Lock. Drew Lock going into second season had an impressive second half of his rookie season. So see if he can continue that.
They lost Emmanuel Sanders too, right?
They did. They traded Emmanuel Sanders to the what's it called 49ers, but now he is a New Orleans Saint, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I think he's the best one in the draft as well. Best wide receiver in the draft. I like his hands, his route running. So yeah, I mean that's a good pair to have up there, a young quarterback and a young wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a playmaker, man. You can kind of throw the ball up and he's going to come down with it.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have AJ Terrell to the Atlanta Falcons. Definitely need this for the Atlanta Falcons. Good pick. AJ Terrell is a good corner. And this is a division that is stacked with wide receivers, man. So you need a guy who can go out there and play on every single one. And I think Terrell's the guy.
Yeah, man. I mean, like we said, these corners were kind of bunched up after the first corner, which is Okudah. But I like this pick. Atlanta needs help as well. He's played AJ Terrell's played top competition. He played at Clemson. So I like the pick, man.
Yeah, I think another big thing I say a lot with players from Clemson is they've been in the big moments.
Exactly.
They've been in the big games. They know what it's like. So
and they have a good coach, man. They have a good coach out there.
Yeah,
coaching them up and getting them ready for the next level.
Yep. All right, next up, I think the steal of the draft here, CeeDee Lamb going to the Dallas Cowboys, and you know how much I hate to say it. It makes me very upset. But CeeDee Lamb to the Dallas Cowboys. Not where I was expecting them to go.
No, dude, I don't think anybody was expecting them to go wide receiver, man. They just spent how much on, they just spent how much on
Amari?
Yeah, dude. So
I know.
I didn't expect them to go there, but I feel like
they're expecting to lose Gallup.
Yeah, but it's also
and they lost Randall Cobb too.
This guy, they lost Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb didn't really do a lot for them last year. I feel like
he was their slot guy. Just he didn't get the ball out to him.
I mean, there's not enough touches for him, man. You got Amari, you got Zeke.
Gallup's great.
Yeah, so and I feel like the rich get richer in this standpoint. Like I feel like this guy is really good. They were just trying to bolster their offense even more, and they really don't want doubles on Amari Cooper, and this is going to help them with that. So I think that's also a steal. I just don't think that that's where the need was at. I've talked to some Dallas Cowboy fans. I have some friends that are Dallas Cowboy fans. They don't know what they're doing with this pick. They didn't know why they picked them. They know that they're losing some wide receivers, but they have their number one, and they don't need to get another potential number one as a first-round pick. So they wanted him to go somewhere else, probably on the defensive side.
All right. I'm just going to go kind of faster because we are getting towards the end of the show just to get through this first round.
Yeah.
Just stop me when you're ready, when you want to talk to somebody. Austin Jackson to the Miami Dolphins, offensive tackle. 19, you have Damon Arnett, cornerback to the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's one that I want to talk about: Clavon Chason to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I did not want to see this guy two times a year.
And we are gonna see him 2 times a year. So
yeah, so that kind of sucks. I was actually hoping that who was it that the Raiders would grab him. They need help in that. They need help in the defensive pressure area,
but this is 2 top picks on the defensive side for the Jacksonville Jaguars, corner and linebacker. I mean,
and they need it, honestly.
Yeah,
they need it because of the talent that's in one. You have the probably one of the top running backs over there in Tennessee with Derrick Henry. You need someone to be able to stop him. You have the best cornerback in the AFC South in Deshaun Watson in Houston, and then you just have a mix of talent over there at Indy, especially that offensive line.
Dude, they got a really good offensive line. Now they got a veteran quarterback. Maybe we'll see what Peyton Manning was going to turn into in with the Colts if he would have stayed.
Yeah, and then also they just drafted what's his name, Taylor.
Who did the Colts?
The Colts drafted Jonathan Taylor, the running back.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's keep going. Carson Wentz getting his receiver with Jalen Reagor from TCU.
I like that pick. We can talk about it a little bit because it's from TCU.
Yeah, I had Justin Jefferson above him, but very close.
Yeah, I like Justin Jefferson's competition more than Jalen Reagor, so that's why I had him higher too.
Angel, I will never stop hating on the Cowboys. They are the bane of my existence. I'm not even necessarily. I mean, I am a Texans fan, but I'm not necessarily happy with the Texans. But that will never stop me from hating the Cowboys. I'll do anything to hate. I would do everything in my power to hate the Cowboys forever until my dying breath. All right, number 22, Justin Jefferson, getting their replacement for Stephon Diggs here with Justin Jefferson. Great. I think he's a great receiver, has all the talent in the world, and it kind of takes up the pressure off that you don't have to be the number one guy. You can be number 2 to Adam Thielen, and when you have guys doubling Adam Thielen, it's going to open things a lot more.
Absolutely.
All right, next up we have Kenneth Murray to the Los Angeles Chargers, Cesar Ruiz to the New Orleans Saints. Good pick I think that's a good pick for the New Orleans Saints.
That is a good pick. That's a long-term pick right there.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers, getting a receiver. Here's the big crazy one, Jordan Love to the Green Bay Packers.
That's weird to me, man.
They're doing the Brett Favre treatment to Aaron Rodgers, it seems like. If I'm not mistaken, I think someone said that Aaron Rodgers is the exact same age that Trevor Favre was when they drafted Aaron Rodgers. So.
Yeah, and they asked Aaron Rodgers before the beginning of last year, what would he do if they drafted a quarterback? And he said, well, I still got about 4 or 5 years left in me, so they're going to sit for that long. So, I mean, he's still one of the best in the game, man.
Yeah, he is. All right, next up we have Jordan Brooks to the Seattle Seahawks, Patrick Queen to the Baltimore Ravens. That's a good pick. Isaiah Wilson to the Tennessee Titans, offensive tackle. Noah Igbonagi to the Miami Dolphins that are getting their corner. Then you have Jeff Gladney to the Minnesota Vikings. And last but not least, the first running back, even though he wasn't my top running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Jonathan Taylor is actually my number one running back, right, and just barely in front of DeAndre Swift. I don't know much about Clyde, so I can't even put him on my list.
Yeah, I mean, he played for LSU. I don't know what – I mean, I can't knock Kansas City's personnel department because they have gotten a lot of guys that were maybe – I don't know, under the radar, I would say. Some of them weren't under the radar. Some of them we knew were players, but they had bad pasts. But I don't know, man. I mean, apparently they see something in him. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's not going to a bad team. He might not even have to play right off the bat, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's going to be the end of the first round, and we're going to go ahead and call it quits here. We're getting up on that 2-hour mark. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Armbars and Suplexes special NFL edition. Next week we will be back with some more wrestling and MMA talk news. Also, guys, if you're watching, when you're watching, come in with your movies that you've been watching for the week. I think that's kind of been our staple that we do every week. Talk about what we watch and come in and tell us what you've been watching. Put it in the comment section below. Before we head out, like this video, subscribe to the channel, go to the Patreon if you want to help support us, and join up with Patreon, patreon.com/armbars and suplexes. The link is in the description below. And you want to go ahead and give us a little hint of what's going on next Tuesday, bro?
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday,
a little tease.
We have a fire matchup, all-time great. This would be in the UFC's fight wing Hall of Fame if it was an MMA fight, but it is a boxing fight between two awesome fighters, lighter divisions. I think it's at lightweight 130, 135. I don't know, but I will know by Tuesday. I'm gonna give you guys all the info on it. It's a crazy fight, a crazy finish, and I hope you guys will like it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited because I actually really like boxing a lot. I just don't follow it because it's so hard to follow. There's so many places just to follow, so I just don't know where to go. So
that's why UFC. That's why UFC is where they're at, because they kind of have a monopoly right now. I help you through it, man. I'm hoping that this boxing match kind of reignites your boxing a little bit, because I don't think you've seen this fight.
Nope, probably not.
Probably not. It's from 2003, 4, somewhere around there. So it's a good 15 years old, man.
All right,
but it's legit, dude.
All right, man. So, guys, make sure you check us out next Tuesday on Rematch Rewatch here, the second episode ever. Join us on Tuesday around 9 o'clock. All right, guys.
9 o'clock.
Make sure you follow me right here. Dang it, I did it again. At Alec Miller 0423. Catch Jesus at The Real Jesus. That's spelled JEEZUS.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
AMF.